Hello, everyday superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, dating, game, human dynamics, and everything in between. Today, we're going to speak economically. We're going to talk about attraction and repulsion. We're going to talk about a fine balance you as a man must walk upon this tightrope of presence and absence. Okay, most men don't take this into consideration, therefore most men get this completely wrong and have their partners get emotional at them behind their backs and expose them as being needy, clingy, and so on and so forth. Trust me, I speak from having been a participant in these types of conversations. So, let me start by saying attraction is not just about what you give. It's also, and just as importantly, in a polarizing sense, about what you withhold. Human beings, biologically, psychologically, are wired to crave balance between connection and mystery. Okay, women in particular more so. As far as the attraction is concerned, you as a man with too much presence will create a metaphorical suffocation, whereas you as a man creating too much absence will create neglect. So we're already starting to see the fine line we have to tread here, right? As the sweet spot is within the middle. And not necessarily purely in the middle, but the dance across the middle section, associating and engaging with both sides of the fence between being seen and being missed. Okay? When you understand this and learn about this, you will never forget it, and it'll become a lot easier to put your best foot forward and know when to, rid of your presence and when not to. And it's not necessarily in a manipulative manner, purely as economically speaking. Your abundance will drive the value down. People are going to take you for granted. You're not going to get what you want. You're not going to garner the reception you as a fantastic man deserve. And too much presence ensures that you lack on pursuing that which is actually necessary for you to pursue as a man with purpose. So you must rid yourself of the scene from time to time. Evolutionarily speaking, if we're to look through the lens of evolutionary biology, okay, scarcity increases the perceived value, so nothing much different than the economical sense. As in nature, rare sources are prized within social groups and tribes and so forth. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 leaders to every 5, 10, 100,000 million men. So your scarcity puts you in a position of your own control as to how you are perceived by those whom you engage with. Okay? Even to the extent where scarcity and abundance is in relation to the amount of time you take to text someone back. In those early dating stages, if you are portraying yourself in a red pill sense, a fake it till you make it sort of way, because that high value man is so busy that his text messages and attention is going to be scarce because he's doing other important things. Whereas the man who doesn't have that is either going to be able to respond straight away and create this repulsive element of abundant, smothering communication, or he's going to fake it, create this dominance mimic, and take his time to respond, as to which may have the same effect on the lady if she knows no better. Constant availability as a man signals desperation, it signals lack of status. And historically speaking, desirable mates had demands on their time, right? The more your time is worth, the less likely you are to just piss it down the drain, right? Leaders, providers, protectors, everything a woman finds attractive, they don't have all the time in the world because they're too busy leading, they're too busy garnering resources to provide, or they're too busy ensuring that they're fulfilling their biological masculine role. Okay? Look at traditional societies. Look at third world countries who haven't come to the comfort and conclusion of everything being given to them, right? Where they still abide by traditional values. And you'll see it's a lot more normal for themselves to operate in such a way over in those particular areas. I know a guy, he was arranging a date with a beautiful young lady. He says, I'll see you here. They set up a date for Thursday. It's Tuesday when he says, fellas, she sent me a text message. She says she can't do Thursday, but she can do Wednesday. And I've agreed to it. Later on in that night, she pulls out. Him responding yes, even though he was available, to being able to see her on one day's notice, is repulsive. In a way, she's tested to see whether she can pull out and what he's willing to do. Okay, he's okay with rearranging to the point where I'm actually rearranging it for like no more than 12 hours in the future, and he's able to do so and prepare that for me. That shows how valuable I am in the eyes of him. And although you would hope that value or perceived value as to which he perceives me as would be beneficial for our relationship, I, as the feminine, as the woman, actually find it quite repulsive that he's not diminishing my value beneath that which he prioritizes more. We don't even know each other. We've not even met once. Yet he's willing to bounce back and forth within this short time frame for me. He's got too much time on his hands, right? In the realm of psychology and dynamics, absence creates a mental open loop that the mind wants to resolve. You don't have the imagination and the fascination of the woman. We have two different brains. The woman's imagination is infinite in relation to the man's tunnel vision. You're never going to be able to perceive the world, perceive the facts, and perceive the game like a woman is. So what you need to understand is that a stimulation of her fascination, a stimulation of her imagination, is a goddamn necessity. When you're absent, when you're distant, when you aren't present, it gives room for that seed that has been planted to grow. Do it. Your constant availability signals desperation, or if not and, a lack of status. Okay? Babe, I can't answer right now. I'm at work. Babe, I've got to go now. I'm busy. Right? She loves to hear that. Even though she might feel like she's been brushed off, she might imply she's been brushed off, even though she will complain that you never have time for her, right? Understand that the time you do spend is when you do have a moment for her, and it's condensed, concentrated, quality, full focus time that she doesn't receive from any other man. Whereas when she hears from you that you're busy and you can't talk, as much as it annoys her because she wants to speak to you, she understands that what she has is a valuable man. She's not going to leave you for pursuing the money. What is it? It's a rapper cliche, but they say you're gonna lose money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing the money, right? I'm putting you on game. Historically speaking, let's not necessarily delve too much in the historical on this one. Let's go back to the psychological. You need to understand the intermittent reinforcement effect, which is a principle casinos use, believe it or not. It's utilizing unpredictability to building stronger emotional hooks, right? If I am here, there, and everywhere, yet the time I spend with you when we get around to it is of such quality, it really allows you to think about me whilst I'm gone. You'll be excited to hear from me again. But when you're going to hear from me, who knows? All we know is when I find the time to engage, it's going to stimulate your brain. You're going to be excited. I'm going to engage with you emotionally, right? We are applying our engagement with that of the pull on the arm of a slot machine. We could be onto a winner. A masculine principle is independence. With independence comes autonomy, right? Demonstrating that independence makes your presence feel chosen, not obligatory. You are an independent man, and even if you are married for 20 years, the fact you've been married for 20 years is because you've been able to successfully uphold your position as the masculine. She's not left you yet. She's not cheated on you yet. Good job. She identifies you as someone who still needs to be pursued, as somebody who still needs to be submit to. If you are a free, independent spirit, if you are in your masculine entity, if you possess the strength of free will that the feminine does not, as the feminine is the receptive principle, right? The creation, the mind, the thought, whereas you are the will and the action, right? So in Hermetic teachings, this is delving a little bit into the mystical, we can identify our mind as having a polarizing gender, right? The masculine and the feminine, our creation of thought, our imagination, our conceptual building of ideas is the feminine, such as the womb of your imagination, whereas the actual manifestation principle is the will, taking those thoughts, those ideas, and applying them to reality. Your independence makes her feel chosen, because you could be doing anything else and you have been doing everything else. Once again, it also shows boundaries, and she needs you to have boundaries. The reason she tests you from time to time and acts like a bit of an idiot, right? And you think, why do women act this way? Can't we just be friends? Why is she moaning at me? Why is she testing me? Why I hate this so much? You get red pill rage, right? But it's the fact that when you pass the tests and when you establish boundaries and when you show that you're not willing to budge and when you show that you prioritize your work and when you show that you come first and when you show these elements that fall appropriately in the right spaces, biologically speaking, it shows you have self-respect. And through you having self-respect, she respects you. Okay? When you are always present, you're indirectly showcasing that you have no passion, no goals, and, to a less important degree, but still in relation to your independence as a man, you have no social life. She doesn't respect that. When it comes to the texting, just to re-emphasize this, you're not going to be responding instantly because you're going to be busy. You're going to have a life, right? As an adult man, your time is finite and you need to make the most of what you've got. And you know that your utilization and creation through the time you have is going to make her life better. She knows that indirectly as well. So she supports you even though it might be a pain in the ass for her to not get a text back from you within half an hour, 2 hours, dependent on when you actually get around to looking at your phone. This is the man you want to be because this comes natural. Whereas the game playing of waiting half an hour to respond to a text might work for some, but as opposed to playing with her, you need to look internally and understand that it's you who needs to upgrade your means of living so this behavior becomes natural. The concentration of your presence is immaculate when you are present, because you'll be fully attentive and high of energy because you will have got everything you needed to have done, and now you can fully focus. Such as when you were absent from her, you were focusing on that which wasn't her. Okay? You need to understand as a man when to lean in and when to step back. Within the realm of the spiritual, the presence is the energy of yang, the masculine. The presence is decisive, it's grounded, and it's strong. Whereas the absence represents the feminine principle, the yin. That representing flow and allowing desire to breathe. This polarity of presence and absence creates magnetic tension, right? Positive and negative, not to say that the negative is detrimental, but on a magnetic pole that is to which we represent. Okay, light and dark, the sun and the moon, the feminine and the masculine. Attachment will repel and detachment attracts. This is the counterbalance of all things. A common mistake would be to go too far into absence, and in the earlier stages, what's going to happen here is she's going to feel like you've ghosted her, and in ghosting her, she's going to be speaking to the other men she was speaking to anyway and highlight more time with them. This is in regards to going too far into absence, not, being a little more absent than the next man, but when you go too far, you never know when the other guy says, I want to be your boyfriend, and he suits her, and so they start dating, and now you're sort of out of the picture. Alright? She won't see you as someone who was busy, progressive, and ambitious. She'll see you as someone who was neglectful. Abandonment is going to come to mind, and disinterested. And she reflects the father figure upon you. And whether she has or hasn't had a neglectful father, she doesn't want to see that archetype projected onto you, showcasing those particular qualities. Okay? That only continues to link into the children that she initially was attracted to you for, right? She wanted to procreate. That's what her biology was pulling her towards you for. The overpresence is a representation of neediness and smothering energy. So for any of you out there who have dealt with an overbearing mother, or have had partners, if not friends, who have had overbearing mothers, you have understood what it is like to want to enjoy your independence and enjoy time away and relieve oneself. I'm an introverted character. I charge my batteries external to social communication. For someone to consistently be engaging with me becomes quite the problem, right? To finish off, you need to understand that presence without absence is boring. It's repetitive, it's draining, it's too much. You get taken for granted. Absence without the presence is emptiness. She will move on, she will forget about you with no further stimulation to her imagination. She will have no reason to care. There is a dance that needs to be enacted that creates contrast. Whilst you're there, I want you as a man to be fully there. And whilst you're away, I need you to be confidently away. As you master this, you will create rhythm, intrigue, and a long lasting magnetism. This dynamic, this economic, applies to your friendship groups, applies to your business partners, applies to your presence on social medias, applies across the board. Please study this, see it represent itself in the world around you, in the relationships of those around you, and find a resolution of understanding. Click like and subscribe. Peace.